Don't you find it interesting that people are willing to put their health in somebody else's hands? Like, even after David 91, they will still go to that person in their lab coat and say, hey, fix me. Now, let me break this down. If you know how to fix cars, do you need a mechanic? Right? If you know how to, I don't know, cook, do you need a chef? Right? If you know how to navigate, do you need a GPS system? Okay? So if you know how to control your own health and monitor your own health, do you need a doctor? Now, a random person walks up to you. You know, you're coughing. You're coughing. And a random person comes up to you and says, hey, yo, stick this in your arm. You're going to be like, yo, what? Get away from me. What are you talking about? Go away. But if a person in a lab coat has 3 letters after their name, PhD, all of a sudden, come on, right there, there's a vein right there. Get that right in there. So 3 letters just completely shifted your whole perspective on someone. Well, that means that they went to school and they've been educated and they trained. You do realize that all college graduates are not the same, right? Like, you do realize that, right? I graduated college and I had like a 2 point something. I barely made it, you know? It's like, and my GPA did not reflect my intellect. But the same could be said about all these doctors that you give the highest praise just by default. You're going to trust the doctor that graduated 200th in his class? You're going to trust that person with your health. You know, the person that just scribbles, like all their signatures are some BS anyway. They scribble something on a piece of paper and they go give you a drug that they were incentivized to give you. During David 91, there's documents, there is proof that shows that these hospitals were incentivized to diagnose everyone that walked in there, whether you had a hurt toe or a headache or a cough. That was David 91. So these people got all this fancy education that you trust so much, but then all that went out the window when money got involved. And you're going to trust somebody with your health. You're going to trust somebody to make sure you get back home to your children, to your friends, to your family. And all they're going to do is sell you out at a moment's notice. It's these same doctors that will silence their own. There are some that were on the take, and there are some that are not. I just find that to be very interesting, that we allow these people to walk amongst us, and they're the biggest drug pushers. When I think drug dealer, the first thing that comes in my mind is one of those pharmaceutical pediatric doctors. You know what I'm saying? They just be like, oh, you're sick? Here's a prescription. Oh, you got this? Here's another pill. And that pill's going to give you a headache, so we're going to give you a pill for that. And I'm just going to keep on writing these over and over, and I'm going to just keep getting paid for it. I find that to be strange. Some people think of a big t-shirt, big jeans, and some Timberlands. That's a drug pusher. The guy standing on the corner looking sketchy. But the thing is, the funny part is, at least they're out there in public doing it. These people hide behind their pieces of paper, their diplomas that are on their wall. Let me ask you something for all y'all people that drink the David 91 Kool-Aid. What is your doctor's name? Dr. Smith. Of course I know my doctor. What's his first name? What's her first name? Some of y'all already fell off right there. You don't even know your doctor's first name. You just know that they're Dr. So-and-so. And because they're a doctor, I don't need to ask any more questions. You know, and to the person that, you know, I got this from, you know what I'm talking about. But don't you just, a quick sidebar, don't you think it's funny how there are pills that you can take, but they specifically say to not eat grapefruit and take this pill. So don't eat an organic fruit, but take this manufactured laboratory-made substance. And you trust these people simply because they have PhD after their name. All these little fancy letters after their name. And that's what gives them credit to go inside of your body and tweak whatever it is that they want. And when they don't do the job, you're going to keep on going back. Hey, doc, I'm sick. Oh, okay, here's this. Hey, doc, I'm still sick. And you're going to go back. Hey, doc, I'm still sick. And you're going to go back. If you had a leaky toilet, you had a toilet that was leaking all over the place, and you hired a plumber, And that plumber came in, tinker, 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 dried it up, made it look good real quick, and left. The second you flush that toilet again, it started to flood again. Are you going to keep calling him back over and over and over again? You're a big baller, you're a CEO, and you have an assistant. And your assistant consistently forgets to schedule things, big meetings with all these big partners out here, and they forget to put it on your calendar. Would you keep on going back to them and keep on relying to them? For those of you in the dating world, if someone keeps lying to you and cheating on you over and over and over again, are you going to be stupid enough to go back to them? Well, some of you are, but it's like, are you going to be stupid enough to go back to them? No. So why is it okay for your doctor? Just asking questions for a friend. People really give way too much power to titles and labels. Oh, you're a such and such? Okay, I don't need to think anymore. Whatever you say goes. You know, like the priests and the rabbis, Father John, Father Jacob. You know, call no man on earth thy father. But yet, the second you walk into the church, these self-proclaimed fathers are the ones that are the only ones that can communicate with God for you. Even though it's a known thing in the Catholic Church that they love little boys, but we ain't gonna go there. We already did, and there's nothing more to be said about that. But keep on trusting those titles over and over. You do realize that's how religion started, right? The poor people needed leadership, and some person put on a big fancy robe that looked all colorful and made him look powerful. That's called the Pope, the Vatican. All these wars that were waged in regards to religious freedom, and we're going to go spread Christianity throughout the lands. Thou shalt not kill, but because I believe in this certain religion, this gives me credence to do that. That sounds very man-made, doesn't it? But the Pope said we have to do it, so we're going to keep on doing it. You see how this works? We're coming to an age where, sure, some of these people, you're going to have your titles, you're going to have this and that and whatever. I get it, you know. But at the same time, you still need to be able to think as an individual. If a doctor tells me to take something where I just seen all these articles where someone just fell out when they took a little something, they fell out. Some of them passed away. And you're going to trust them? Oh, well, it's a doctor. These things happen. Really? And you're just going to line up and do it? So if it happens again, are you going to do it again? Because the doctor said so. What about the people on TV? These newscasters, they don't even have a real title, but they're famous. You're used to, something Anderson Cooper. You know, he looks official. He looks famous. He looks like an authority figure on CNN when he had his hair all slicked back to the side and all that type of stuff. All that fear mongering that CNN did. But it's CNN, it's MSNBC, it's ABC, it's blah, 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 blah. So I can trust them. Let's get political since we brought up CNN and all of them. Israel, I know there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of new information coming out every single day. But they said that they hit a hospital. And then a few hours later, it was shown that they only hit the parking lot. They said that there were thousands, 500 people dead. Oh, my God. And then you see the footage, the hospital's still intact, and they hit the parking lot. I'm sure unfortunately, maybe a couple people still got. But still, how many times do you want to get lied to? Weapons of mass destruction. That's why we went to Afghanistan, Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever. They said, we're looking for them. Did we ever find them? Did y'all ever ask if we ever found them? So what did we go over there for? Oh, but he's the president. So everything he says goes because he's the president. He's the leader of the free world, even though we're all slaves because we're selling our time for money. But he's the leader of the free world. Y'all still believe that lie? It's just very interesting that you're a leader, because he's the president. You should believe everything that he says. So we're going to raise, instead of inflicting taxes on the people, we're going to call it inflation. And we're going to make the people pay for all these wars. Maui gets hit up with a freaking laser beam, melting metal. Go ahead and look up, what temperature do you need to melt metal, to incinerate bodies? So the people that were attacked here in our own country, in our own lands, in our own territories, get $700 each and are incentivized to sell their homes. But some war goes on across the water in some country that some of y'all can't even locate on a map, And they're sending billions and billions and billions of dollars. Billions and billions of dollars to some ward, some faces that we will never see. But our own people are struggling and starving and been displaced and been hit with actual weapons of mass destruction. Ain't that about a bitch? But keep on trusting the labels. Keep on blindly trusting your leadership. I just find it interesting. You know, in The Wizard of Oz, they said, don't look at the man behind the curtain or whatever. The man behind the curtain is everyone that's behind that TV screen, behind that phone screen. But because they're famous, you trust them. Because they have this fancy title, you trust them without doing your own thinking. It's not 100% your fault, but it's still your fault if you do not use your own brain and ask questions. If someone tells you on Tuesday at 3 o'clock p.m. there is going to be a $10 bill at your front door, you open your door on that day and you see that there's no $10 bill. You be like, oh, okay. They come to you tomorrow and they say, hey, on Friday, there's going to be a $10 bill at your door. And then you open the door, there's no $10 bill there. At what point are you going to realize that you're not going to get what it is that they're saying? They said that they're going to do this for you and that for you. Remember that student loan payment? Your leader said that. So you should trust everything that he said. You still got student loan debt? Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. That's crazy. Also, you don't vote Carrot Man back in office. Some of y'all in for a rude awakening for that one. And when that happens, I'm just going to just put a little post that says, I told you so. It's just so funny. They tell you to not like a person and you automatically don't like them. It doesn't matter if it's political or not. It could be a rapper. Your favorite rapper says, screw that person. Yo, I don't like that person. Blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden you don't. Tekashi 6ix9ine. For those of you that are hip in pop culture, Tekashi 6ix9ine is he's a professional troll. Rainbow hair, just tattoos of 6ix9ine all over his body. He's a clown. But he really did expose some stuff, how people, some little Timmies, all these regular people sitting here, the only connection to the streets that they have is the rap music that they listen to, but everyone's calling him a rat or a snitch. So let's just break this down, because I am not gangster at all. So you mean to tell me that you're a ride or die for your homies? So y'all get pulled over and there's drugs in the car. Your friend has drugs in the car. You get pulled over and y'all get searched. The cops find the drugs in the car. You mean to tell me that you are going to go to jail for your friend that put you in a dangerous situation, that took you away from your home, your family, your loved ones? So when you did absolutely nothing, you're just going, oh, well, I ain't gonna snitch. So I'm gonna take this charge because I'm a gangster like that. So you're gonna throw your life away for some pride because you're a real one. So y'all were hating on a dude and y'all knew nothing about the circumstances. That's crazy. We live in a world full of people that do not think for themselves. The more famous you are, the more rich you are, the bigger your platform, that gives you the right to think for other people, like these red pill manosphere things. You know, like no disrespect to the man Kevin Samuels, but some of the stuff he was saying simply does not apply to some of you fellas out there. It doesn't. And you're going around spitting out this jargon. Now, don't get me wrong, he had some points. But sometimes I was just like, hey, because I can think for myself. When I hear something, I can choose to agree or disagree with it. But I don't just blindly follow what someone on the screen says. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much influence you have. I don't care how many credentials you have. I'm always going to think for myself. Because if you were to listen to these bankers out here, they're telling you that the banking system is fine. Do you not know how many banks have closed? Do you know how many bank runs are happening globally? Bank runs are when the people lose their faith in the banks and everyone is going to withdraw their money out of them. I'm telling y'all, you trust these banks, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Chase, Bank of America. Go do your research on how many of those banks have closed. But they're bankers. They're the economists. They're smart. They'll tell us what's going on. When have they ever? When have they ever told you exactly? They actually tell you the opposite. When things are bad, When things are bad, they tell you what's good. When things are good, they tell you it's bad and be scared. That's just market manipulation at its finest. I be seeing like all these people up here talking, and like people have these fan bases, and they can say whatever it is that they want, and they keep on thinking they're right because they live in this vacuum where their loyal fans will go out and do anything that they say. There was a episode on Suits, and there was like this little 16-year-old girl, and she was like, oh, well, I have 2 million, I don't remember the exact number, but she said, I have like 2 million followers, and they will do anything that I say. That is bonkers, because she's not wrong. Simply because she has a bunch of followers on a social media platform, because she has a lot of influence on this thing in the palm of your hands, she can now tell millions of people to go buy something or not to go buy, or to not to buy something, or to cancel somebody, or to ignore someone, and y'all will just go blindly do it, even though you don't even know what happened. Think, people, think. The pharmaceutical industry has never been your friend. They cure nothing. They only make you sick because your sickness is their money. Why would they ruin their cash cow? It's called the Food and Drug Association. Well, that herb wasn't FDA approved. So you mean to tell me that the FDA didn't approve some ashwagandha, some moringa, haritaki? Didn't approve that, but it approved all those antibiotics and those steroids and those chemicals that are put into your food. And you're going to keep on trusting them. For those of you that love your diet drinks because, you can't drink sugar anymore, but you're going to trust the diet stuff. It's FDA approved. Aspartame is what they put in diet sodas. Diet Mountain Dew, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi. Aspartame is a known carcinogen, FDA approved. Doritos, Red 40, Blue 12, Green 14. It ain't even real ingredients. It's a color and a number. FDA approved. It's allowed to go in your food. Known carcinogen. Petroleum byproducts. Go get you a cup of petroleum and just drink it. That's what you're eating. And people are wondering why everyone's always sick. They tell you that the sun is bad. Even some of my woke black people out there, we ain't done with that. I'm going to get to the spiritual folk too here in a second. It's like the woke people, they be so quick to try to put down white people. I don't like that shit either, man. It's like these regular ass Caucasian people have nothing to do with the systemic racism that some of y'all still give so much credence to. Nothing to do with it. You'd be like, oh, white man, you can't get in the sun. Now, don't get me wrong, white people. I ain't telling you to go crazy with it. The sun does interact with us a little bit differently than y'all, so be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? However, FDA approved those sunscreens. And when the sun reacts to the chemicals in the sunscreen, that's what be causing a lot of y'all's problems. The sunscreen. The sunscreen. And you gonna keep on trusting these people. What more do you need to know? You trust your religious people that have been keeping you stupid for the longest time. The Catholic Church has single-handedly kept us back, technologically speaking, for centuries. The Catholic Church, the Vatican, the headquarters of all this stuff. Go look at what some of them places look like in the Vatican. Some of these places, they got cobras, snakes. Everyone that's Christian is so scared of the snake. I mean, even though the snake could either be wisdom or something bad, but nevertheless. And they got whole little monoliths that look like this in the church, in the cathedrals. All these naked children flying around. Oh, these are what the angels look like, these naked children. All the things you could have drawn, and you want naked children? So if I, in my free time, were to sit down and scribble naked children in my free time, I'd be labeled as a pedophile, creepy, don't touch me. But when they do it, it's okay because it represents innocence. Cupid, right? Cupid with Valentine's Day, not even like the Greek god and all that type of stuff, but for Valentine's Day, Cupid, a naked child running around shooting people with arrows. Why is it a naked child? Speaking of which, quick sidebar with that, the heart. What does your heart look like? In your body, what does your heart look like? And then it looks like this for some reason. That's the symbol for it. What is that really? And if you need me to explain that to you, you need to do some research. But what does the heart actually look like? This looks more like a heart than this. Where did they get this from? You see what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm kind of going off, but nevertheless, man, I know I'm going to be a problem when I have children. I know I am. Like, I don't trust myself yet to, like, completely be ready for, like, the childbirth part. Like, I might need some assistance with that, or hopefully the mother of my child is on that wavelength where she's like, hey, I want to do natural birth. We're going to have a doula. We're going to have this and that. I'll be like, thank you. But if she chooses to say, like, hey, I want to have hospital, like, this pain is going to be crazy. Hey, do what you got to do, man. Like, I'm just going to be there. But if we have a hospital birth, fam, like, I'm going to be, oh my God, them doctors and them nurses going to hate me. Hey, what you doing? Oh, well, this is just her injection. Hey, babe, do you want that? I don't. Get that shit away from my woman. Stop that shit, man. But sir, it's a requirement. Then we getting the fuck up out of here. Like, what you think this is? I don't trust y'all. I'm only here because she wanted to be here. I don't trust y'all. Because all y'all do is stick, poke, and prod. It's like we should be healing each other by sound at this point. You got a cancer tumor growing in your freaking lungs, just hit it with the right frequency, and over time it shrinks. We should be doing that. The fact that we still have to cut people open just shows how naive we are. How what's the word? Not immature, underdeveloped we are. The fact that we still have to cut people open to go find the problem shows how underdeveloped we are. The fact that we still have, like, electric lines, that deliver electricity. We still need to, we need a physical thing to transmit electricity. We get electricity from the sun. How did the sun send me electricity, but we still have to, like, use cables to get it to everybody? Damn, wasn't that dude's name? Oh yeah, Nikola Tesla? Didn't he already kind of figure out how to do that? And these officials, these scientists say, oh, that's not possible. So he's a scientist. So man. Well, in about 50 years, maybe we'll get there. I could charge my phone just by putting it on a tab. Why can't we do that at a global level? We've been had that technology, but you keep on trusting your officials, and you'll keep on being led astray. Think for yourself, people. Till the next one.